Hey everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Thursday, it is 3 o'clock. We are going to start having consciousness conversations, and I'm really excited about this. So I'm excited to have Thomas here with me today. And for those of you who know me, I am Melissa. I am a medium. I'm an evidential medium, and my passion really is helping those of you who are ready to step into your journey with spirit to do that, whether that's through integrative energy therapy sessions. As a master instructor, I'm able to help activate your 12th strand of your spiritual DNA. And then also as a medium, I like to teach the classes on how to connect with spirit in a way that's meaningful for you. So that's been my passion the past couple of years. And I've been partnering with people who are on kind of a spiritual journey themselves to have conversations. And I'm really excited to have Thomas with me here today and hopefully going forward on a regular basis to discuss what's going on. What's going on with us spiritually, what's going on maybe energetically, and then how is that affecting us? And so, welcome, Thomas. I'm so excited you're here.
I'm excited to be here myself. It's been for myself an interesting journey. Got me here. I never even started talking live and doing anything until maybe a year ago. Almost exactly a year ago is when I started doing any live talks and stuff. But for myself, I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher. I'm a philosopher in theory. Uh, yeah, you can say healer too, but I'm just more of that just teacher and preacher, I guess. And I've gone through with my journey, and it's interesting to hear how we got introduced to each other. For me, it was just I listened, and I wasn't listening very well, and then I started listening again, and next thing you know, I was brought to the right people, and I just then, as my role as a learner, I've always been. I've just learned more and wanted to grasp more and get more research and get more knowledge. Just help me get to this point, and so I'm glad we're able to talk today. I'm glad we're able to do this because I think it's fun. Not only fun, I think it's helpful to people.
That's it. That's it. You know, there's so many that, like you and I, when we started our journey, what do we do? Where do we go? Who do we talk to? How does this work? And for me, I kept asking spirit, like, why am I being nudged and pushed to be out there, to be talking, to be having conversations? And that's really what it was about. It was about helping those who were on the journey and not too far behind me. So I really feel like I've been kind of leading this charge in helping those who are just stepping on the path of, learning about the awareness that there's more than just this 3D reality and this physicality of this earth plane, that there is more. And when you start ascending, when you start raising your vibrational frequency, it changes you and it changes what's going on around you. And so I was brought to the Lightworkers Connection Circle 2 years ago, just before COVID shut everything down, and I needed a tribe of people. And I know it's through that tribe that I ran into you, but I think what we really wanted to talk about today was relationship, and that's really what it started for me, was building relationships with people that were like-minded and who could help me on this journey that I was going forward on, where I was having experiences with spirit and the spiritual and faith and all of that was more than just what was going on in my physical life or my third dimensional reality. So I know that relationships in this process change. And that was one of the things I think that was very surprising and startling to me, was how I was being perceived and how my relationships around me were changing. And it was, I think startling is the best word I can put on it, because it was like,
Yes.
yeah, you're surprised and you're startled that people are going to start looking at you differently. They've known you your whole life. They know who you are and what you believe in. But all of the sudden, because you are aware of the more, or aware of consciousness, you're looked at funny.
Yeah, and it's one thing I wanted to share, and I thought about this today when in talking about relationships and stuff. And it's not always easy to do. It's not always easy to go out there and share. Not always easy to step into this realm. I mean, you've been doing this longer than I have. For me, when I first have these experiences, I was like, what the heck am I doing? For me, I am a doctor. I mean, I got my PhD. I did a lot of research. So I was big on, okay, what, come on, what is really happening here? And because I couldn't touch anything, I couldn't see any proof. And then things just appeared, but I still was not ready to embrace it publicly
Mm.
and see how that would go. Because my one of my biggest fears was, well, if I tell people who I am
Mm-hmm.
or what I've experienced, what are they going to say to me? Even I was also going through marital issues. I'm like, well, if I say all this stuff, can it be used against me now in the court system, and what's going to happen with that?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was really trying to put a shield up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, even when I was first asked to speak ever publicly, I said yes, and I actually went to that person's house because it was in another group. It was behind closed doors. I'm like, sure, I'll speak. And I actually said, but I want to do it at your house. I don't want to do it at my house. I just want to do somewhere else. And so I did it that way. And it wasn't until maybe 3 months later, after I had COVID with the experience, was told I was asked to kind of do another live. Actually, I was told to do a live by my guides. So like, okay, you got to start talking. But still, it was all behind this door, this
Mm-hmm.
private thing. So I wasn't going out there sharing. So I didn't know how it would make other people feel about me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was probably the biggest challenge. Even telling my parents and stuff, or my brothers and stuff, what I was experiencing, and it was just, do I share that? Do I
Mm-hmm.
want to share that? And I know for me, the initial um, responses were like, oh, it was like no one, very few people were like, you do what? You have what experience? You believe what? It was always about, oh, in fact, I remember just sharing this funny story. I remember when I had my first proof experience,
Mm-hmm.
and it happened to do uh, with Oracle cards that I had bought the night before. Craziest thing ever. The night before I bought Oracle cards, never used them before in my life, ever. And that morning I had this vision, and I was told something. I'm like, oh my goodness, do you want me to pull this card? And I pulled the card, and it was astonishing what it told me. It was like exactly what I've been debating about and worried about all day, night long. That card was literally the word. It was one word answered the question. It was so. But when I finally told my mom this, she went to her room and said, "Here, you have my oracle cards." And, like I had no idea. I knew that he went to psychics and stuff like that, but I had no idea she owned. So I have those cards in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was always worried about what it would say. But recently, it was a big thing for me. It was not until really the turn of this year, and I've been speaking almost weekly, probably 3 to 5 times a week. I've been speaking inside a closed door
Mm-hmm.
in this private group about all this
Mm-hmm.
and different lessons and different parables and different stories. And I finally was nudged by spirit saying, "Hey, take off the filter, start sharing, start going public with who you are."
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started seeing stuff that we wanted to talk about today. Just a few relationship changes. There's some people that I saw post or comment to what I was saying. Were like, "Oh my goodness, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. You're listening to this." And then I've noticed there's some people that I'm sure have blocked my feed or won't talk to me anymore. Um, and it's what happens. And it's a good example was given to me last night. I talk a lot, by the way. A good example that was given to me last night, like for example, this summer is my 25th high school reunion. Okay,
Mm. Nice.
I am. So, but I was talking to someone about this, and her reply was, "Well, I don't know if I'm ever going to go to my reunion." And I thought about it. I'm like, think about that in relationship to who we are and how we change, and how we grow. When we go back to the 25th anniversary reunion, and you see someone there, you're automatically going to perceive them as how they were
Yeah.
25 years ago.
Yeah.
Think about yourself. What were you like 25 years ago in relation to now? You're
Mm-hmm.
not the same person. But when you go back and you meet back with these people, it's going to be like how they were 25 years ago. That's what you're going to perceive. That's what you're going to expect. And so I go into the relationships now. And going to where I am right now, how I've changed, how we change, how we grow, and as we grow in the energies we have, and we grow and we ascend and we vibrate higher and we go differently. The people around us, if they themselves are not open to the change that are happening, they're still going to perceive us as that person that was there 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, in that older energy or in the way you were. And so they're always going to perceive you as that person until they themselves can perceive themselves differently, which will allow them to perceive you differently. So you're in that like that realm, and it's a I have a great analogy story that happened to me this week. Please butt in anytime you want to talk. Uh,
No, that's okay. No, no, no. Keep going. I will. Trust me, I will.
so, I had a story, and this happened to me the other day, and I was like, I was torn. Two people I care about deeply, all of a sudden, were sharing exact opposite information about me
Mm,
to me. And I had no idea what I was so lost. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, if there's any people in the world I trust more, it was these two people. And now I'm being told exact opposite things. And then I had a conversation actually with our friend Sheila. And I feel bad for Sheila. I actually accidentally, I would say, butt dialed her or finger dialed her before 7 a.m. I was texting her, I need your help. And all of a sudden she's there. I'm like, oh, shoot. Sorry. But the conversation we had half hour later, I said, I'll call you back, uh, was exactly about this in relationships and how they both had a different relationship with me because of where they were at in their own lives. And so where they were at in their own lives and their own journeys, one perceived me from that angle and still had that perception of what I was like when we were in that dynamic together. And the other one has been perceiving me in a different light in a different way, and as she grew and as so they both are growing differently in different paths, but how they saw me were different. And
hmm
it was so interesting. I'm not going to get into the real crux of this. It's a whole other talk.
Right.
It's not a happy. That's a happy talk with that. So amazing when it came from it. But I had to step back and say it wasn't me. It was how they were perceiving me
Yeah.
from where they were, and it was okay. And in fact, with the one, we decided to step back in our conversations,
hmm
and the other one, nothing changed.
hmm
But we needed to step back because it wasn't like there was nothing I could have done, and that's a big thing. There's nothing you can do to change how someone perceives you without being yourself, and be yourself. And it's okay to
No.
step back, and it's okay to have that break because ultimately, if they're going to perceive who you really are and who you are today, and if they're meant to be in your path and they're supposed to be still connected with you, they have to do work just like you have to do the work
Well, that's it.
and get to the
And
same spot.
yeah, and sometimes what you have to do is you have to recognize where they are. And that's what you did. You recognize that that one person that you have to step back from is they are where they are on their journey. It's not where you are anymore. And it's not that you love them less. It's just that you kind of have to leave them there. And,
Right,
and as you move forward, having that awareness of where people are will really, really help you to be able to say, okay, this person can hear me and accept me for where I am, and this person can't, and that's okay. One of
right.
the most important things is to not judge where people are and just accept them and love them where they are. Because if you judge them, you're lowering your vibrational frequency, and we never
Mm-hmm.
want to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to stay going up. So if you can stay in love, if you can stay in compassion, and you allow people to just be where they are. I was at a family function a couple weeks ago, and I had literally visibly people were avoiding me or stepping back away from me because they know who I am or what I do or what they perceive I do. And they're afraid of it. They're afraid of spirit. They're afraid of what they think I do because they don't know. They don't know
Yeah.
because they're afraid. And so I have to love them and know that it's their fear. And hopefully someday they'll overcome it. And if they don't, that's okay. I still love them. But
Right.
we just can't have that relationship we used to have, which in
Hmm.
some cases is very sad. But it's okay because I know that there are people in my life. And as you're finding, you find people in your life that can come forward and be there for you in the way that you need them to be.
Right.
It's just important not to buy into any criticisms, judgments, guilt, any of those lower vibrational frequencies, and just recognizing that it's okay wherever they are. And it's okay that you're moving.
Hmm. And I love how you just explained all that because it reminded me of the story I really wanted to share. And non-judgmental. It's just sending the love and being in love and being in that vibration yourself. Like I mentioned, I was talking in a group for a year, and spirit had told me multiple times, okay, it's time to go. The last time they literally swore at me, it's time to go. Okay, and it was last. I was in a session. I was actually in a session with Sheila, an IHC section, when the channel actually came through to her and said, oh, I tried to swear and said, oh, no, 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 no. You don't use that language here. You don't have to use that language. But they needed to make sure I got the message
Yeah.
clear.
Mhm.
But at the same point, you know, I had to accept those people were not going to talk to me
Yeah.
anymore, at least for now.
Mm.
And it's okay. I love them. They do wonderful things for what they do and the messages they share, and
Mhm.
there's nothing wrong with it. But it's not where I am.
Right.
And so, as you said before, I had to recognize where I am
Mhm.
and where I'm to be doing and where my journey is taking me. And everyone's got their own journey, their own place, and they get to choose where they want to go with it. And as we go through it, as you said, there are also new people that are coming. Hey, we're doing a live. New people need to come in, have these conversations, and cause it's even funny with how we're talking today. You used to do it live on Saturdays, and I was like, oh, I gotta get there. I had to get on and just listen. So I almost felt like I was like the third cog listening in, and like, ooh, I want to talk about this and talk about that, and
Right.
like, ooh, and so. I'm flattered and honored to be even talking today with you and having this conversation.
Thank you.
But new people come in,
Yeah.
and you grow, and you'll see invite people come in. You'll see other people may grow and come with you,
Mhm.
and it's okay.
No, it
And
really
it's a
is. And what
struggle, but
you
it's okay.
Yeah, and what you have to recognize sometimes is like people will come in, but they're only going to be with you for a minute. They're going to be with you maybe for a few months, maybe a year, maybe just a few weeks, depending on what you need from them and what they need from you. And as long as you can just be in your awareness of what is being needed and not having any judgment about you know, uh, oh gosh, any preconceived notion of why they're there or what's going
Right.
on. Yeah, just kind of allowing the relationship to be what it is. People, I think there's that old idea out there, that we have to be or do expectations of what other people have for us, whether it's societal, whether it's family, whether it's generational, and we're breaking down a lot of those old expectations and really learning how to live authentically. And, there may be people that come in just for a season. There may be people that you help in a certain part of their life, and then you have to go in your separate directions and let it be okay. And I also was not allowed to do this work gently. I was also kind of pushed to be out here as speaking and being the way shower, I guess. And it has been a journey, and it has been, figuring it out one lesson at a time. We're growing, we're evolving, and the people that will evolve with you will be in your life, and the people that are being sometimes what you're doing for someone is you're modeling what can be or where you can get to. And sometimes people just need to know that there are others out there that are achieving or being authentic, and it's safe, it's okay.
Hmm.
And it's needed, it's really needed. And so we have to just allow whatever relationships are going to be. And I'm from a very, very large Irish Catholic family. I'm from a very large tribe, as you would say, but my circle has gotten very small because there are so many people that do want to point the finger or do want to criticize and judge, because that makes them feel safe in their own situation. And so sometimes when things get said about you, sometimes when things get brought up, you have to like not take it personally. You have to understand that the person that's saying it, that they're criticizing or judging, it's their fear. It's their fear of wanting everything to stay the same. Like, let's not throw any pebbles in the water. Let's not ripple anything. Let's keep it all safe and calm. And if you're doing
Mm-hmm.
this work, that's not going to be. You're gonna ripple the waves. You're gonna ripple the water. And so it's just know that when if people are coming at you, if you feel like they're coming at you with some attack, or they're coming at you with some criticism, or they're coming at you with something that has nothing to do with you, it's about them. And sometimes
Yes.
we just have to hold that space, that they're
Right.
going through it, whatever it is, and we just have to pray for them and hold space for them.
Right. I mean, you hit like the nail on the head there with that last statement, because it's once again it's about that where they're at, and there's nothing. All you can do is, and I love. We both listen to Cryon and everything. I love how Cryon said this in one of his channels. Lee Carroll said this in one of his channels. It was like, what, and if you're at a holiday, or you're meeting family, and you want to show the difference between someone that is in this consciousness and is spiritual like this, and not, the answer was whatever they say to you, it's, well, I love you. It was just simple love back to them. They're showing the difference. We're not here to judge, not here to just, I love you the way you are, and be the way you are. And you yourself, you be the way you are, and love that. Uh, Another thing you said, though, I wanted to touch on. I thought
Mhm.
about this today, and I was like, "Ooh, I need to do a TikTok." I'm doing TikTok. I've never done TikToks before until this week. I've done like four this week. One each day. I'm doing the 3 minutes of peace every day. So I'm branching out there. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
But uh, ego versus soul. This is a whole other conversation. I mean, forever on this. But you mentioned not wanting change,
Hmm.
wanting, it's the ego. What it does, the ego, and it almost battles the soul,
Hmm.
because the ego is all about the complacency, the
Hmm.
expectations. We know what to expect,
Hmm.
and even if it's bad, at least I have the comfort of knowing this is the expectation. So I might lose, I might not get what I want, but at least I know what it is, and so the ego is going to push us towards that direction. What the ego hates is the unexpected.
Hmm.
It hates it. However, the soul, your intuition, your gut, that's what knows what's best for you and your highest good.
Hmm.
But it's not expected, because the ego gives you the expectations, but the soul knows where you should go with. And
Hmm.
so a lot of times with these people that are your relationships you have, the expectations are the key with that. They have these expectations that are led by the ego. And if you can live with your soul and follow that just intuition, it's like, I need to be doing this, and I don't know why, but I'm
Hmm.
gonna go here. At the end, you're gonna see this is why, and be a big smile on your face. You may lose some people on the way, but you'll find more, and you'll get this great thing. But we often think up here, this is what you want to expect with it, and
Well,
it,
it's
it
that
goes.
fear ego that is trying to keep us safe. Yeah. And so what we need to do is drop down into our solar plexus, which is the seat of our emotions and our humanity for ourselves. And so many of us in this work have been traumatized in some way that keeps us playing small. So we want to stick with the ego. We want to stick with the fear-based ego that says play small because you're safe, you're stable, you know what to expect, you know what that's all about. We want you to stay in that same old box, that same old pattern. But your soul, your solar plexus, the seat of your humanity for yourself, your authenticity is like, no, it's time to expand. It's like time
Hmm.
to share. It's time to grow. And that is where we have to drop down into. We have to let go of this very small ego construct that we don't need for survival anymore. We have outgrown it really. And now it's about dropping down into our heart, our solar plexus, and living from that space of our own humanity, our authenticity, and living authentically who we are, and we're being guided by our higher self. So yes, in getting in connection with our soul or our higher self, however you want to think of it. So these are definitely big, big, big conversations. And I'm going to look forward to us having them on Thursdays at 3 o'clock. So, guys, this is our introductory first run. So, thank you for joining us. Please feel free to put any questions in the comments. Thomas and I will monitor the comments and we will respond to them as they come through. But thank you, Anna Chris. Yes, twin flames. We can definitely talk about those coming up. And yes, it is a remembrance, Jacqueline. It is not, anything that we talk about isn't something that's going to be like brand new. This is all
Right.
about us remembering from who we are, from our soul level. So it is all remembrance. And we're going to continue to do that as we have these conversations, helping us all remember that higher self perspective and that connection to God consciousness or source, that really is how we are all connected, So I'm glad that you're taking and enjoying this. And I just want to say hello, Dana. Hello, Mandy. Hello, Natalia. Yes, fear. Fear is the thing that will hold you back each and every time.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very careful. And what I say about fear is it's never going to go away, but we can learn to walk through it. We can learn to be
Yes.
courageous and do it despite the fear. So, thank you for all the comments. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I'm going to just thank Thomas for hitting me up and getting us going. And here we are. So, guys, have a beautiful rest of your Thursday. Thomas, is there anything you want to add?
You had to say that, I speak light language too. I didn't mention that in the beginning. And once you said there's anything you want to add, I don't know if you could hear the whispers that came out of my mouth, but I do speak a light language. It's a language of the soul, language of, just an old language of speaking and activating and just put it out there. And um, even that's scary to people. I've had people say, "Oh my goodness, what are you saying?" Even my kids, they look at me and I'm like, "I'm sorry, it comes out, it comes out." And so that I've seen even impacting relationships with people because like, "What are you doing?" I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
it just comes to me. But be true to yourself, no
That's
matter
it.
what.
That's it.
It's about being true to yourself and the relationships you're looking for and you're desiring and that are for you
Mm-hmm.
will stay,
Mm-hmm.
will come back, or
Mm-hmm.
will come to you. And
Mm-hmm.
that which you don't align with anymore, it's okay. We're all on our own paths and doing our own journeys, and so it's okay for people to venture off and go somewhere else, to stay where they're at, to work on themselves and come back and go. It's okay. 'Cause it's about where you are at and what you're doing. And there's such a difference in this world. I'm learning with the old energies and new energies and the love that's around. Be true to you, no matter what. You going back to that 25th year reunion? Be who you are now. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to resort back to who you were 25 years ago.
No.
And you may never know who you'll connect with, who you're supposed to connect with. But
And
it's all
that's what
beautiful like that.
Yeah, and that's really what it's all about, connecting with who you need to connect with and who you should connect with. It's all about connection and being in the right place at the right time and allowing yourself to authentically show up. And those
Yes.
people around you will authentically show up. So thank you for this conversation, everyone.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Thomas, for today. This is going to be, going forward, our consciousness conversations. So if there's topics that you would like us to hit up on, please feel free to go ahead and put it in the chat box. If any questions, please feel free to ask them. Guys, I'm going to sign off. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye. Thank you.